Hey guys, Carbonyl DotA here. I'm gonna go over a replay of mine where I played position 4 Clockwork. I don't feel like there's a lot of good position 4 content out there, so hopefully this helps fill that void a little bit. In this video, I'm gonna show you how, as a position 4 Clockwork, I had higher net worth than their carry at 12 minutes. By the way, I do coaching. I do live coaching, or you can submit replays to me to review. Check out my Discord in the description below if you are interested in that. Let's get into this replay. So, here's a PL. I thought it was a Viper about Boots, but Boots is pretty normal in Clockwork anyways. Just grab a Clarity to get some mana. And Clockwork, obviously you want to be really aggressive at the rune. So I just run up here, find this PL, get some good body blocks on him. Just makes his life suck. He has to take his Doppel level 1, which you don't want to do on PL. And then we just keep being aggressive. We actually get first blood with Marcy connecting. So obviously this game, you know, we stomp a little bit, right? The concept of the video is we're up. I'm ahead of their PL and net worth at 12 minutes. But, you know, let's see how it happens. And let's see what we should be doing as pos 4. So aggressive at the rune when possible. Flew myself out of Windlace right away. And I'm going to get some more regen. I flew out myself the Windlace with the first blood gold, and then we got more gold from the bounties. So, alright, so I want to talk in depth about what I do. I don't want to gloss over it. So, first wave, I'm happy to like trade with this Weaver a little bit on the side. And my goal is going to be to block the small camp the first couple minutes. So usually on the first wave, you can participate a little bit, but you don't really stick around for the whole wave usually. Or at least right when it's over, you walk over to the small camp. And what you usually look to do is either kind of be aggressive on their carry if you have the capability, or like kind of team up with your carry or with your core and look for some denies. So we team up for deny. This is something that Immortal you'll do a lot, where you and your core like kind of on the same page, and you want to both be going for the denies, right? Like you have to both be thinking like, I want to deny this creep when it gets low. And, you know, you kind of have to work together that way. So be looking to, you know, get denies. Like, Clockwork is not a hero where you're like, oh, I'm going to sit in the wave and deny creeps, right? But, you know, I just helped my Necro deny creep. And we already get the lane pulled back. Here I force out the Sakuchi, and because we're in a good spot with the lane, and, like, I'm not in the creep wave, like, messing up the creeps too much, like, this range creep is hitting me, which is super ideal. But, you know, I just get to run and do free damage on these guys. And trading my mana for their HP is a great trade at this phase in the game. And you should always be looking to do this if possible. And Clockwork specifically is a hero where you trade really well outside the wave. So if you can, like, get in their face and trade with them outside the wave, that's, like, really ideal. So again, I'm happy to trade with this Weaver. Why? Because I have more regen. Well, I don't have more regen at this point. But I'm happy to trade my regen for his regen because I have more gold, right? I got first blood. Net worths don't really matter here, but, you know, I just have more gold than he does, so I'm happy to trade my regen for his regen because I'll just be able to buy more. I see him salve up, so I actually plan to take my rocket flare and cancel the Weaver's salve here, which I do. So, cancel the salve, probably like half of it, so like 200 HP denied. And here I am blocking the small camp again. Items, I pick up a Clarity and a Sentry. The Sentry is to like pick up a kill on Weaver at some point, and deward my hard camp, which is blocked. And I think I want to fly myself out some more HP regen, which is why I haven't sent the courier yet. I think that's what I'm waiting for. And here, this is a really common play you can make when you have, you know, 4 creeps under the tower. They're weak, you're strong, right? You can dive them. And what's important here is you do not right-click them. If you right-click them, you draw aggro to the tower, and you will die instantly. Versus if I just Q and walk around to near them, use all my spells, doing lots of damage. So I do die here, but I did trade a lot of damage for my life, and the PL was not CSing those creeps under his tower. He was running away from me and taking damage, and that's why this is worth it. This is actually worth it. So, you know, PL got 42 gold, Weaver got 183 gold, but the PL missed all the CS under the tower, and, like, lost HP on that trade. Obviously, I lost my life. And here, I checked with my Necro to see if he needed items. He didn't, but it's super important that you do this as pause 4. I mean, as any support coming back to your lane. It's really easy to not do this and just, like, you know, not care, forget. But if you can make this part of, like, your, you know, respawn routine where you check with your core and see if they need items, it can just make the lane go way easier. You know, do they want to bring some regen? Do they want to bring their next item? Like, getting your items fast is so important. I mean, you know, every low MMR coaching session, you always have to tell the person to buy their items and bring it to them faster, right? This is something the new players aren't good at. But the speed at which you can get the items is just so important. So here I kind of mess up and the small camp spawns. At this point, we're so far ahead that it doesn't bother me too much. And here, my Necro is just doing Necro things, getting the PL really low. I just throw out a rocket, which is literally only 80 damage, actually, level 1 is actually pretty good. You know, it's 60 damage after reductions to the PL, so it's just a solid right click that he wasn't expecting. And the Necro finishes him off. So this PL's life is really hard, and I snipe the courier here with my super high move speed. And so here I draw a creep away. This is an accident. So my intent is to bring this back to my core, not to, like, farm it. But I do think to check here if the sentry... I thought I had missed this D ward, but then I realized that I could check this little area, and maybe it was here. This is pretty common. Because the other spot is, like, here, and if you put it far enough away, this sentry doesn't see it, because I didn't put it in the box. But I did get lucky here and found it, and now I'm going to bring this creep back to my Necro, because I want my core to have as much farm as possible. I will take a CS if he's, like, not going to get it. That doesn't happen very often. I mean, you can see that's my 3rd CS. I'm not getting a lot of CS. That's not the point of playing pause 4. You just want to get it when you can. And here, I think Weaver had used his Shikuchi, so this was just, you know, a run it down and get the kill, punishing their mistake. And now with the Weaver dead, I believe I look to pull here because... Oh no. Okay, so we have a lot of creeps. So I check and see we have a lot of creeps again. And this PL's vulnerable to being dove again. And so I'm going to run it back. Same thing I did last time. And we glyph the wave here. And, you know, this guy's life is goner. Even if Weaver was here, I don't know if he could really help him other than splitting up some... eating some of the battery assault damage. So this is just, you know, seeing the advantage and taking it to its maximum potential. We've got 4 creeps. He's about to get dove. It's a hard matchup for him. So you just have to dive him there. Don't let him off the hook, you know. I could have pulled that next wave, like I was saying. I was like, oh, do I pull here? No, you see 4 creeps running at him, and your core is strong and he's weak. Just dive him, you know. And, you know, maybe we force a reaction from another lane, and that would be a positive as well. You know, nobody on his team is coming to rotate to help him. But if they were, that would be a net plus for our lane because it makes our other lanes' lives easier. So here I do look to pull. There's no dive happening. Our creeps are already dying. And this will get the lane pulled back to close to our tower. And that'll just continue to make PL's life hard. So when in these good lane matchups, the core-to-core matchups, you want to dive them when you have a bunch of creeps and push it in. And then in these like lulls, where there's a moment, you want to just chill, pull it back, and make them go out of position and start the harass cycle again, right? And that's what I'm doing here. I'm just like, hey, take 200 damage, take 400 damage, you know. Continue to get in every right click possible. I know they can do nothing to me. I am invincible. And so here again, we've got a catapult. And, you know, we're probably going to be pushing in this wave. I just get a kind of a clutch kill here on the Weaver. He wasn't expecting the cogs, I don't think. And I had the sentry, which let me get in the extra right clicks, which is why I bought that sentry earlier, to be able to kill this Weaver. So here I pull. This is actually probably a bad pull in hindsight. I was like, oh, this is a free pull. But because we have this catapult, we should probably just dive this PL again. I don't have a lot of mana. And I can't see in my career. I have mana ready to fly out, so it's a tough call because I don't actually have a lot of mana. I have one battery assault. We probably should dive this guy again. So actually, I think this is a mistake with their support dead. I think this pull is actually a mistake. You should look to dive again if at all possible. If I had no mana and no stick charges, then I think this pull is like still probably bad because the Necro can keep this catapult alive, and we probably would have gotten this tower earlier. So it's important on catapult waves to think, do we want to push this tower? Or, are we not using this to pressure? And in this lane, when we're this far ahead, I definitely should have been thinking, like, we need to pressure. So, that's a mistake that I make as a 6K player that, an 8K player or higher probably doesn't make. But this is really important that I flew myself out this regen. Given that we didn't dive the tower, I didn't use, my stick and, like, dive this guy again. I did the next best thing where I pulled and then flew myself out some mana regen to reset. 2 clarities and 1 mango. Just want to make sure I am down to clown whatever we need. So I see their Weaver mid and they're tiny, and I'm like, maybe this PL started jungling because he's not in the lane anymore. That's what I would expect from a good carry player in this bracket, is they will start jungling and not coming back to lane. Honestly, this PL's come back to lane a lot, but he's still such a low level that you really can't jungle that effectively. And so here, I see him in the lane, and I just run at him. We don't end up getting him. He kind of juked us out. I don't think we would have gotten the real one anyways. Got kind of lucky with where the real Doppel spawned. And make sure you keep your mana topped off, just instantly claritying after that engagement so that I can run at him again and have full resources again if I find him. So here, we chase this guy away from the tower. Any good carry will stop going to the lane eventually. This guy's already died 3 times. Eventually, he's going to stop going to the lane. So I just go look for him. And lo and behold, he is jungling. Steal his creep, chase him away. And this is what really gives us this, like, solid advantage. And this is what you need to do as a support in these winning situations to, like, make sure there's no space for them to come back, right? How do you keep up the pressure? You literally just run at this guy in his jungle, and you either A, force his team to react, and B, just deny him from hitting creeps, He didn't get any creeps here. He got 1 creep at this camp. And I'm just going to keep following him. I'm not going to farm these creeps, right? Like, I just want to chase this guy away. I see his clarity's going. Cancel it. Here I'm getting my items. And I don't expect him to keep jungling that camp, but I'll go check again. And I got some wards here, because I want to lay a deep ward to be able to keep doing this. So yeah, he's not jungling this camp, and I see him show on the ward on our small camp. So my goal is to literally just chase this guy around until some of his teammates show up to stop me. I will literally just keep doing this until people come to stop me. So again, this PL, he killed 1 creep here, and he killed 1 creep here before I got the other 2. This guy's life is so bad. This is why I have more net worth than him at 12 minutes, because he's literally not farming. This guy has 15 CS at 8 minutes, A good carry game, you've got like 50 CS. This guy has 15. And there's a position 4 chasing him around the jungle. This is how you make carry's life miserable as position 4. And this is the highest impact thing I can do. I waste that smoke there. I was trying to, like, get these creeps to get off me, and I was just too close to this tower. I was just mistimed running in front of these creeps. I shouldn't have done that in the first place. But this is the most high impact thing I can do. If I can just prevent this PL from being a hero and farming gold, like what? And look at this. He doesn't even get this creep. This is another creep that I deny him. So he's still level 4, still 15 CS, just chasing him away from any creeps that he could possibly hit. This is by far the most impactful thing you can do. You don't have to, like, go try and get a kill on the enemy mid, right? It depends on the matchup. Like, we got a Coddle against a Tusk. I don't think we're, like, killing him anyways. And here, because of the new clockwork change, I'm like, I guess I could just farm this, instead of wasting my time. So I do take this, and I see PL is under the tower mid, and I'm like, I can go screw with this guy some more. Remember, this is the most high impact thing I can do. This guy got 1 creep wave under tower. He's got 4 CS now. And I'm like, hey dude, I'm here. I'm back. And what does he do? Kinda gotta run away. Got 1 more CS. And you know, my Morphling's having a good game, my Coddle's having a good game, my Necro's having a good game. This is a game where all of our lanes went really well. Their Tusk had a decent amount of farm, so he would have had some high impact if this PL had like a normal game. But because we shut him down so hard, that's what really pushes the game in our favor. So I come over here, block this camp. I see that he just farmed it, so I block it so that he can't farm it again. And I'm like, hey PL, I found you. And he's like, okay, I'll run away, I guess. I'm sad. I'm like, yeah, you are. Again, he gets pretty lucky, I feel like, with the Doppel. I almost could have solo killed him once or twice here. And here, I stopped chasing the PL because Weaver was in the area, right? I didn't want to, like, walk through the Weaver to, like, go... And I had already blocked this camp from spawning, and there was no camp here, so... PL basically was going to have to, like, walk somewhere else, or just not farm, creep some more. He's still only at 22 CS. So I'm like, alright, I'll just go see what's going on top. Get a nice courier kill, cancel this guy's salve. And this is looking like a pretty easy dive, actually. So we're at 11 minutes, and the position 4 is still ahead of the position 1. And here I'm just back to checking the jungle, looking to chase the PL away if I find him. He's not here. He's probably in his jungle. He's probably in his triangle. And here I finally do die. They probably put a ward down to stop me from doing this. You know, this is the phase in the game where it's like, alright, they are strong enough to, like, kill me with, you know, not the PL, but, like, their mid and somebody else, so I should probably stop, like, roaming around solo looking for the PL. It works up to a certain point where, like, they're not really strong enough to, like, kill you, necessarily, when they're not early levels, but now they've got enough levels that I'll just die, so it's time for me to start, you know, playing in a more normal way, playing with my team, looking to make, like, plays, as opposed to just chasing the PL around. PL finally overtakes me with 35 CS. Good for him, honestly. And when you're really ahead, you want to, you know, play with your strongest core. In this game, it's Necro or Coddle, but you know, a Necro with a Marcy behind it, like, we're crazy strong. We're looking to dive anybody that really shows, besides maybe this Weaver. And notice we took the tier 1 top first, then the tier 1 mid. This is just the natural progression of objectives, you know, as Radiant. So notice how our team just naturally did that. Necro was pushing in top the whole time. Once we killed that Tiny, we were able to take the tower. And now we've all rotated mid. And at this phase in the game, where it's going really well, you've taken the top and mid tower, it's like, what do you do, right? Well, look for kills in the side lanes. And this kind of depends on what the configuration of your heroes in your team will be. Like, you ideally want to have a hero still playing up here, who's able to keep it pushed in, or at least not pushing into you, and safely farm this area. And if you have the right lineup for it, you can look to take this bottom tier 1 tower. So the order of objectives is usually top tier 1, the mid tier 1, and then usually like Roshan or the top tier 2, right? This tower is not super important. When you take this tower, is like, you know, sometimes your safe lane will just take it if your safe lane ends up crushing. You know, like some jug lanes, the jug will just take that tower super early, or like a Wraith King, they get really far ahead. They can naturally pressure it. That's not what happened here, right? Like, my Morphling left his lane. This is the Morphling taking it. This is the rest of our team. And it's when you've taken the other 2 towers already that you want to take, and you're still pretty early into the game. Like, I'd say, like, like, 16, 17 minutes. You're not strong enough. You don't have the levels or the items yet to, like, really pressure this tier 2 or really take Roshan. Unless you have a Roshan hero. You know, maybe you have a Slardar, maybe you have an Ursa, maybe you have a Rasta. So if you don't have, like, a Roshan taking hero, and it's this early in the game, and you've already taken the tier 1 top and the tier 1 mid, that's when you can kind of look to pressure this tower. And this is not something you want to do forever. Usually you only want to do this if it's going to be like kind of easy. Like, yes, we have to bring heroes, but like, no, they can't really contest or fight us. That's when taking this tower like is worth your time. If this is going to be like difficult, if they're going to fight you, if they're going to gank your carry in the meantime, your carry's really gankable like a PA or something, it's probably not worth it to take this. But in this scenario, in this game, it's pretty easy for a Necro to just sit here, push it in. No one's going to go screw with him, and even if they do, the guy's got hood plate mail at 14 minutes. Like, nobody can kill this guy. He's a monster. So in the meantime, I'm just kind of sitting mid, going to deep-push it. Me and Marcy team up to catch this Tiny. It's really easy for us. And here's important to just get all your spells off, right? You know, getting the the cogs off, the hook shot. That's all you can do in these situations. But it actually, you know, maybe it wouldn't have mattered, but it does end up with, like, the Tusk dying, who's their mid, right? So, you know, maybe the hook shot didn't matter there, but maybe it did. It is important to get the spells off just in case. So I decided to go drums, because it's a really good item that just continually amps up our aggression. It gives us better chase with the move speed, and it's really good for our Morphling to give him better attack speed. Plus, I wanted to buy this extra wind lace anyways, just so I could run around faster. So it just seemed like a really good game to pick up drums. Putting a deep ward in their triangle this early in the game is really scary for them. And now we're just looking for kills, right? They walk out on the map, they show in a lane, we look for a kill. If nobody shows on the map, we smoke and go to where we think they are, which has to be top jungle, right? Based on what the map looks like right now. They have to be top jungle, so let's go, guys. Look, I draw on the map. Let's go. They gotta be here. Let's go fight them. This is what you do when you're really far ahead. Is you don't back up and farm. You group up with your strong core. That's what we're doing. Me and Marcy are grouping up with a strong core, and we're looking for kills while our carry farms. And it's still pretty early. We're not looking to take a tier 2 tower yet because none of our heroes like really do that. Morphling kind of does. You'll see soon that we do start pressuring towers. But it's only once it gets to this, like, 17, 18-minute mark that you're really strong enough to pressure tier 2. In the meantime, you just have to kill them over and over whenever they leave their base. So, walking to this guy, I'm not even needed, so I just walk back towards my Necro. Got my drums. Make sure you have smokes. I used one already, and I have a second one. You know, as the position 4, you should probably be buying the smokes for your team unless you're playing, like, position 4, like, I don't know, Enigma maybe, who like doesn't really need smokes and like doesn't initiate plays. But most of the time you're buying the smokes position 4, and it's good to always have them. And see, they have nowhere to go. I mean, this Weaver, I just run into him because it's like he has to be around here. Like, what else would he be doing? Honestly, if the Weaver is good, he'd probably be cutting our waves like somewhere really far away on our side of the map. That's something he could do better to, kind of make his team's life easier. But he's not doing that. So like I said, just going for kills, playing their triangle, and bouncing back and forth between the lanes is all you want to do until your core that takes objectives, which in this case is our Morphling, is ready to hit a tier 2 or Roshan. And you kind of have to stay attuned to what they want. Somebody on my team told me there was a word there. No map hacks. And yeah, there's not too much more to analyze this game. We just keep doing the same thing, and we push high ground, and it's pretty easy because we're so far ahead. But hopefully you saw the thought process of what I was doing early game. Blocking the small camp when I was choosing to be aggressive, the dives, my mistake where I pulled instead of diving him, and then chasing the carry around when you can, as the most high impact thing you can do is position 4. And this is like when you're a hero that's not easily gonna like die if like one other hero shows up. Like sometimes if you do these things as like a Skywrath and like one other hero shows up, you like instantly die. Whereas in this game, like if I'm chasing PL and one other hero shows up, like I don't die. Like I just walk away. Um, so you want to judge it based on your hero. Let me know if you like this video. Some people have been complaining that I'm only showing good games, but I feel like I want to show you what I did well to make a game go well versus showing you a game that ends up going really poorly. A lot of my games have been going either pretty well or pretty poorly recently, and like showing a stomp is like I feel like pointless. So let me know if you like it or want to see something different. Although I'm not really going to show stomps against me because I can't really say a lot about it education wise, which is what I'm looking to do with my YouTube channel, is like kind of put out educational content. So yeah, if there's anything else you want to see that's like educational in that aspect, let me know. Or if you have any questions about what I did this game, let me know. Thanks, and I'm out.